V-taper, the most aesthetic of tapers. All the greats have had it. In the world of bodybuilding and fitness, the term V-taper comes up a lot. Truly a sight to behold. The waist is small and the shoulders are broad, forming the shape of a V. It could also be an upside down triangle, or my favorite, a Dorito. Dorito aesthetic. All the greats have had their V-taper on display. Zane, Arnie, Bumstead, Ziz, Batman, Superman, Scooby, Johnny Bravo. If you're just beginning on your fitness journey and you want to get a crunchy Dorito bod for the summer, tasty. Here's a basic guide to get you there. Remember, if you're just starting out, don't get overwhelmed. There's hundreds of diets, exercises, factoids, information, and all of that's just going to distract you. The more basic and simple that you start, the easier it will be to just continue training. You can always switch it up later if you desire. This is what I personally do, but do whatever the fuck you want to do. First point, and I do mean point, the point of the V. Your belly, thin down here, wide up here. If you got a gut, well, that's not gonna work for a V-taper. And even though this isn't a sexy answer, you're just gonna have to lose weight. And the best solution for that is diet. Now, I'm not a dietitian, and I'm not gonna make this video a nutrition video. I don't wanna go into that. But if you got a belly, do your research and lose that belly fat. Lay off the beer, lay off the carbs, lay off the sugars, lay off the coffees that are loaded with creamers and all kinds of other shit. Oddly enough, if you want to get a Dorito bod, you should probably lay off the Doritos. But if you're a beginner, here's a side note. You cannot spot reduce fat. Meaning, if you got a gut, doing a bunch of crunches is not going to make that fat disappear. Your body, your genetics, determines where your fat is going to be lost first and where it is going to be stored last. You just have to lose weight overall, and your body will eventually decide when that belly's gonna come down. Not to give you anorexia nervosa or make you bulimic, but you gotta lose the belly if you want the V-taper. You cannot out-exercise a bad diet. And don't even worry, you don't actually need abs, you just need a flat tummy. If you look at old school bodybuilders, their abs weren't really that pronounced, but they have that amazing V-taper because they kept their waist tiny. And if you're a skinny twiggy guy, you already got it covered. Now that we've covered the bottom point of the V-taper, let's move on up to the top corners. The bigger and wider your shoulders, the more pronounced your V-taper is going to be. Also, the better your posture is, the better your V-taper is going to be. In this modern age, we're at the computer, we're on our phones, so we tend to roll our shoulders forward and in. And that position has our shoulders not in the widest position that they can be. But if you stand up straight and widen out your shoulders, boom, you've got good posture and your V-taper is looking amazing. So you need the muscles of your shoulders to be as big as possible and also have your posture keeping your shoulders in the widest position. So now for the fun stuff. What are the movements, the gym exercises that will get our shoulders to grow nice and wide? Your shoulder muscles are known as deltoid muscles. And there are 3 muscles per shoulder: your anterior, lateral, and posterior. You need to train all of them. And training shoulders is pretty simple and straightforward. The only 3 exercises you really need to focus on are shoulder press, lateral raises, and then reverse flies. Now, your anterior shoulder, it probably gets a lot of workout already from doing push-ups, bench press, etc. So it's not as big of a deal to train these. Just do your shoulder presses, nice, even, slow movements, and keep your shoulders back. Don't roll them forward. Don't lean one way or the other way. Nice and straight, shoulders back, movement nice, even, and slow. Now, shoulder press is fun because you probably can push a lot of weight and you feel like a champion. But really, when it comes to V-taper, the lateral and posterior delts are more important. Have your fun working anterior delts, but focus on your lateral and posterior more. The movement that gets your shoulders physically wider are the lateral raises. Remember, start with low weight. Don't go crazy. Don't try to be macho. Don't try to show off. Don't try to ego lift. Just do your lateral raises with light weight and get the feeling. Feel that activation. And for posterior delts, this is incredibly important for 2 reasons. Your posture, so it helps pull your shoulders back into that wide position, but it also helps your aesthetic from the side. If you have a big, massive lateral delt and you got a big, massive anterior delt, but then you got nothing here, it's just a dip, it looks kind of lame, dude. You want to cover everything. You want to have a nice, big, boulder shoulder like Derek, you know what I'm saying? And the movement is quite simple. Again, start with light weight. Don't try to ego lift. Just feel that activation. And probably you're going to have to start off with extremely lightweight because the posterior delts are usually the most neglected muscle. Even among people who have been working out for years, a lot of times this muscle is neglected. In fact, I think it's so important that you do posterior delts. I say do them first, then do laterals, then do anterior. Get those shoulders nice and juicy. Now, what about the top border in between the shoulders? The muscles that are most pronounced there are your traps. Best simple starter exercise for traps? Shrugs, baby. Boom, 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 boom. Pretty straightforward. Start relatively light and try to feel that burn. Again, roll your shoulders back into place. Don't be leaning forward. Lean back, boom, boom, boom. Lift those shoulders up to your ears, man. You get those upper traps nice and thick, you're gonna look like a linebacker, dude. Okay, we're almost done. So that was the top border. Well, what about the side borders? Well, that's your lats. Your latissimus dorsi, your wings, your cobra hood. Ooh, yeah. Your lats are the left and right side of your aesthetic Dorito bod. There's a few options that you might want to use to work out your lats. I happen to think that the best starter exercise is the old-fashioned pull-up, tried and true. Nice, slow, even movements. Overhand grip position and place your hands just slightly wider than your shoulders. Extend all the way down and then pull all the way up to your chin. Go to the gym, go to the park, go to the jungle gym, or get a pull-up bar for your house. Either way, they're great. Another great exercise, if you have access to a machine, is the sitting row. You can experiment with hand grips, but I prefer the close hand grip and pulling right to my stomach, squeezing my lats as I pull in. Bam, bam, bam. Again, there's other machines and other variations, but these 2 are probably the best if you're a beginner. You'll get those lats nice and thick. Remember, when you're doing pull-ups, don't swing, don't jerk, don't kip. Just slow, even movements. Boom. 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 If you can't quite do a pull-up yet, don't even worry about it. Grab a chair, grab a stool, something that you can step up onto, grab the bar in that same position, and then slowly let yourself down. This is called a negative. You're doing the negative portion of the motion. Step up, grab the bar, drop down slowly. Step up, grab the bar, and drop down slowly. Eventually your muscles will get enough exercise, you will be able to work your way up to doing your first pull-up. Don't give up, man. If you want that V-taper, this is what it takes. Now, like I said at the beginning, if you're a beginner, just pick very simple exercises and just continue to do them. Pick your days to work out, pick your times to work out, and pick the exercises that you're gonna do and stick to it. One motion for anterior delts, one motion for lateral delts, one motion for posterior delts, one motion for lats, one motion for upper traps, and you're good, man. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. The best workout you can do is a workout that you can stick to week after week, month after month, year after year. Don't make your workouts this big marathon that you're dreading having to go and do. If you lose the belly fat, stick to your muscle building routine. You're gonna get that V-taper. You're gonna have that crunchy Dorito bod. The women are gonna want you. The men are gonna wanna be you. And I'm gonna be proud of you. You'll be flexing at the beach, flexing at the rave, flexing at your grandma's funeral like, oh, check out this sick taper, bro. You're gonna look sick, dude. I already know it. I believe in you. You can do this. I'm Chris. This is Action Savage. Thank you so much for watching. I love you.